Yo, 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 yo. What's up with y'all, boy? We back. I know it's been a little TT since we had a little chart breakdown, but we back. We back. Back like we never left, y'all, boy. And we just gonna give y'all, boy, an update of what the fuck been going on last couple days, last couple weeks. Just let y'all, boy, know what the fuck going on. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So today, which is my birthday, happy birthday to D-Lo. Is we ended up passing the combine today. So I think the last video we was talking about this uptrend I was in. I think the last video I stopped recording was up here. And then we had a little sell off. We had a couple streaks of bad days. You know what I'm saying? And in these bad days I was learning a lot about my psychology. You know what I'm saying? Being so close to passing kinda influenced me and influenced my trade and it kinda made me almost spiral, but you know what I'm saying? On the 16th, we turned everything around and then we continued the momentum. Like I was saying, this is basically just an uptrend, you know what I'm saying? Nice to trace it back to the 62. It looked like the trade I took today. You know what I'm saying? To pass this challenge. That's what it really looked like to me. But we're gonna show you the stats, average profitability, that 45% win rate, average losing was 150. 2-to-1 risk reward. You know, I'll see the bar. Passed that joint today. Best day 1200. Worst day a band. That was like when I had that. Like I say, this day right here. That day right here. Lost a band. Hit daily loss limit. Cause I was just so close. I was trying to be greedy and trying to really run that shit. You know what I'm saying? So had to learn my lesson quick. Turned around. Ended up passing the challenge. So that's that. That's that. Let's get into the charts now. And what I was seeing into the charts. I don't know if they still got my. Hell no. I wonder. No, I don't think they got it. No, they don't have the motherfucking executions on here. But nevertheless, let's go a little replay mode. Let's go to about 8 o'clock. So this is what I had my charts looking like this morning. And I didn't have this line. Didn't have none of this. Didn't even have this. Didn't even have this. So this is basically how my charts was looking going into the day at 7 o'clock. And then so that I think that's the 9 o'clock candle. Yeah, so 9 o'clock. So going into the day, really, only thing I wanted to see was see what happened after we swept this liquidity. Because I knew that this was a 5 minute fair value gap. Well, a 1 hour fair value gap. And I wanted to see what we was gonna do up in this area. So once we swept this liquidity, I dropped down to the 5 minute. And I just wanted to see reversals. And if we got reversals, I wanted to see them stack. So I'm looking at price. We swept the liquidity. We breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. You know what I'm saying? So this is 6. We already up here. So now I'm kind of looking at this like a market structure shift because we swept this liquidity and we closed back above this high. But it really kind of wasn't confirmed for me. So, I mean, it kind of was because I looked down here and we had this move. Sweep of liquidity, close back above. So then, boo, we reached the 2 from this move, kind of like solidifying this is the market structure shift. So one thing I've been doing more recently now is I've been making my market structure shifts in blue. Just a series of down closed candles or up closed candles or whatever the case they may be. And making those blue. And these would be like my support and resistance zones for like where I would want to see price react off of to make sure everything is what it's supposed to be. So with seeing this, I know that once price reaches the two of the negative standard or of the standard deviations of this manipulation move, I know that now I can draw my fibs from low to high because this is the new high in the market. And these are the levels I really be using, the 50, the 62, and the 79. And then we sweep, we come down off of the 79 on the 1 minute. I mean on the 5 minute. And then we close above this high right here. So now we officially got two market structure shifts. Two market structure shifts. So we got that one. That's no, that's not liquidity. That's a market structure shift. And then turn put that into a blue box. So now we got two stacking, you know what I'm saying, manipulation moves with closures above. It's a nigga five. This lets me know that there's bullish pressure here. So now once we close above this, I drop down on the 1 minute. And now I want to see price continue. So now this was my first entry. Once we got up and closed above this high here, I identified this for a value gap on the 1 minute. And then we tapped it, I entered, and then we took off. So with this, with like I said, with every manipulation move, you can draw your standard deviations from it. So this would be like your roadmap. So I know that this is the larger time frame. So I know we can either stop at the we're going to usually stop at the -2 to 2.5, and the max extension is the -4. So once we get this new one, I know that the max extension can for this one could be the -2, and then we may start reversing. So what we do, we break this high, and then we continue up. Boom, we reach the -1. That's another pit stop. So once we hit this -1, I know that I can draw my fib because we just made a new high in the market. Just like how I did it for this move. You can draw the same fibs. Once it reaches one of these levels, the -1, the -2, or the -4, like these are all like the pit stops. So if they reach this level and start turning around, you can draw your fibs to grade the retracement because this is just if you drawn out structure, it's like boom, go up, go down, go down, go down, break structure, retap, make a new high. So this would be your low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now we should be expecting a higher low to be made. So that's what we're looking for once we reach the -1. Because the -1 and so it's like we reached the -1 and the 2 and we just swept this liquidity. And what else? This is the macro, so I feel like we kind of probably just hit liquidity. We'll hit the TP for this standard deviation, not the standard deviation for this fib. If we wick off the 2, I mean, we wick off the -27. And then that's another signal. Like once you wick one of these TPs, the -27 or 62.8, you can start getting into the idea that price should start to have the idea to reverse because we've already swept the high and the first kind of like extension. So once we do that, I move my fibs over. So I take this buy right here, and then once we started reaching the 2, I ended up getting stopped out beneath this low. If not this low, I think this low, one of these two lows, because I was trailing my stop, and it was in like the early session too, so kind of had to wait. So no, I'm lying. I'm lying. I entered off of this. I'm lying. Entered off of this, and once we reached the 1, I started trailing my stop. Trail my stop. It's trailing my stop. And my stop is really like under this low. They end up getting me up out of there. So now it's what 10:30. I'm probably waiting for the 11:50 macro. See, we come into the fair value gap, sweep the liquidity. This was my second entry, the one that really passed the challenge for me. Once we swept this liquidity, inside of this fair value gap, with this close above this high, you could have really entered. Or you could have waited till here, till we closed above this high, and this became a market structure shift too. So now you got three of them stacking. Got one, two, three of them stacking. And then price just continues to ride. And my TP was ultimately these relatively equal highs up here. TP was ultimately these relatively equal highs because they were just so smooth. And the 62 of this move lined it up with it. Negative 27 lined it up with it. It's in between the negative 2 to 2.5 of this move. So that was my ultimate target for this trade. And we can see we ended up playing around a little bit. Played around for a lot of bit, huh? So where we was at, yeah. I was like, why this shit ain't look right? Yeah. My ultimate TP was these highs, but I ended up getting out at this -4 to -2. Or was this the wrong day? Damn, that's crazy. I just broke down Wednesday. But Wednesday and Thursday damn near look the same. Like they damn near look the same. That's crazy. I'm thinking I'm marking up fucking the day. I'm marking up yesterday. But this was the trade for today. Closed above there. We had our standard deviations. That's crazy. Had our market structure shift. Reached the standard deviation one. Yeah, this was my trade right here. Yeah, see this Thursday. So what the fuck? Where the fuck was I at price? Oh, see, I was all the way up there. And see, I was marking up Thursday. And that's what really ended up happening Thursday. But that's gonna be so crazy because y'all gonna see how not Thursday, Wednesday had looked like today. Like that's crazy. I didn't even mean to do that. I swear to God, that was not the plan. I'm thinking of talking about today. Definitely. So let's move on to today. I am so sorry, you guys. So today, after this had happened, so this is now Thursday. So now I have my charts lined up like this. This is my new lower low. So now I would change this color to red. So this is my new lower low since we just broke structure here on the 1 hour. This is how I was coming into the day. Got your market structure shift. You got your fair value gap right here. So going into the day, I was at least trying to see 8 o'clock. Yeah, so like that's better. So going into the day, I'm at least trying to see price. If not, come tap into this fair value gap, tap into this market structure shift level before we continue to the downside. And I can even show y'all boy in the Discord what I told my mans. I was like, see, this shit was at 8:36. Shit was at 8:36 a.m. I'm like, H phone ES looking real happy. We've had a market structure shift with respect to the inverted fair value gap and gave a bearish FEG. So all of this shit was looking like this on the 4 hour, but you can kind of walk it down on the 1 hour. So now that I'm watching that, I'm just looking at price because I know that, not to say that I know, but I feel like price had to go up. Price had to go up before it can go down again because we've already broken structure and we got to rebalance. We left this big ass gap. I was thinking we was gonna be rebalanced, but all I really wanted to see was a market structure shift. And if I saw a market structure shift, I knew that we was gonna be going up to the upside. So we let price play out. Then we get boo, get a little bounce. So now I'm looking at this like if we close above this high, this would be mine. And I'm like, ooh, that's decent. That's decent. We targeting these highs. If this is the market structure shift level, if this is even it, we gotta wait and see. Cause the only way this becomes it if we close above here. And then boom. So boom, we close above it. So now this inversion fair value gap. This is just like I feel like the criteria that you need a sweep of liquidity, which it has, and it has from the bigger time frames. Sweep of liquidity, yeah, we swept liquidity. Actually, we swept liquidity here, over here. Then we swept it on the lower time frames, and then we got our close above. So this makes this a market structure shift. Let's turn that blue. So now I'm either waiting for price to come back and tap, or you can just get right in if you wanted the size, because this low should be protected. So I got in for my first entry here, right when they broke above and they closed above. That's where I got into my first entry at. So then price goes, price goes, price goes, and then we reach the one. This is where I should have either closed out the trade or took profits because I know that these are like the pit stops that price can go touch to read. You know what I'm saying, for they displacement leg. So we run it, we play play a little bit, and then we make this fair value gap up here. I really have my stop beneath this low. I mean this low, because I wanted to see what price is gonna do. And then so now going in as the price plays out is 9:30. Now I'm expecting price. I want to see if price can respect this market structure shift level. Will we do that? You know what I'm saying? We respect the level. And now this is where my entry comes. So I get stopped out because I put my stop beneath this low right here. So now I'm looking for another entry. And just like the inversion, you can enter off of these inversion gaps. And this is one on the 1 minute. So if this inversion holds, that means that this is a market structure shift. And so, as you can see with price, play around. And even with all of this playing around in here, I knew that we were going to go up because we were playing around in this bitch. If this was a real like fair value gap towards the downside, like holding a lot of sellers in this position, they wouldn't be doing all of this placing. this playing, and then they damn sure wouldn't have filled the fucking gap. Damn sure wouldn't have filled it like that. Damn sure wouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? Damn sure wouldn't have did that. So now it's like, now that we've disrespected this fair value gap and turned it inversion, now I'm waiting for a tap to go target my liquidity in the two. And even, and even, once we hit the one, you can draw your fibs from high to low because we just had a change in structure. And you see how we wick off the 62, blow through the motherfucking fair value gap, come back to retap, come back to retap. This retap is where I kind of got in at. Once we retap, I'm about right there. And I really had my stop. I think I had my stop beneath this low or beneath the fair value gap, one of the two. Then my TP was the highs. Yeah. And that was the trade right there. So I got in right here, got stopped out, and then I can show you guys the pictures. We entered there, got stopped out here, re-entered here, stopped out, traded out, blew out the. I don't even think y'all can't even see my face in the way. But yeah, that's how we did that right there. That's how we did that right there, Buckaroonies. Buckaroos. That's how we did that. And then I think this trade ended up going to TP2, I believe, before it ended up turning around. I believe this bitch went to TP2 before this bitch ended up turning around. Cause TP2 is, and see, like, I wanted to see price come tap this market structure shift level, and that was the exact level we ended up turning around off of. And you also see how all of these lows are protected. That one, this one. We didn't even sweep this low. But y'all can see we ended up going to that market structure shift level, turning around. But that was the initial bias in the morning. Like I wanted to see this happen, like the turnaround. So it's like you can either had a wait, you could either took this buy up or you could have took this sell down. But I feel like you got more money on the buy because the buy took majority of the morning session that happened. The sell was just kind of quick, and like the same principles really apply. Like we still retesting these market structure shift levels. Like if I delete everything, so we reached the -2. So now we should be expecting a retracement. And see how we reached the -1 and retraced. You can probably draw your fibs from here. And you reached the 50. I mean, we reached the 50 at least, but and we tap back into this market structure shift level. So that'll be a blue box. This would be a blue box. So that's how you know what I'm saying? That's how you can do it on both sides, you know. Really walk that thing down. But see, like I said, on the 1 hour, my whole objective was to see price. My whole objective on the 1 hour, and I've been using my moving averages too, bro. Like we was under the 200, so I knew that this buy wasn't gonna be nothing. I just feel like we just had to come retest this market structure shift level. But I knew we had to buy our way up there, so I took advantage of the buy because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, everybody selling early. They sold this bitch off early, but we ain't do nothing but just generate liquidity to end up taking right to that market structure shift level. Turn right the fuck around. Right to the -2. Like TPs be TPing, bro. TP be TPing, bro. No kizzy. So now we done passed the challenge. Yeah. Yeah, so now we done passed the challenge, everything. Schmoovy groovy. Everything smooth and groovy. But that's what we gonna keep using to like, but like I say, that's our win percentage. Just the stats. These are all the trades. Had that down day. You see what's going on, man. See what's going on. Passed the challenge on my birthday. Real nigga shit. Real nigga shit. It's what we do. It's what we do. It's what we do. Now it's time to stack some bread in these accounts. You're right. You know, I want to thank y'all for being here, tapping in with your boy. Gonna smoke me the back rest of this wood and watch the playoffs. You know, our boy get up with me. Holla at me.